Shut up and sit down.
It's payday, Nick. I mean, not quite payday, but it's time where we start locking in our potential paydays. This is Third and a Mile, the Sports Dorks weekly football podcast where we break down pretty much every game. Well, I guess every game exactly from a fantasy and gambling standpoint. As always, I'm Timothy Chura here with Nick Kappas. Nick, normally we don't mention the writing on the board behind you, but I don't know if I agree with what you put today.
I stand by it. Till week 6. On the other podcast we talked about it. I give him till week 6. He's got to prove if he keeps solid numbers up till week 6, I'll give him the nod. But right now, we've seen it before.
And I know if you can't see the board, you're thinking, oh man, maybe he wrote Fitzpatrick equals Flake or something like that because, yeah, Fitzpatrick needs to prove it. But no, that's not what it says. If you're not listening or if you're not viewing, it says Mahomes not, I guess it's, I don't know what the sign's called, but that equal sign with a slash through it saying it's not equal. Good. Which I don't agree, but we'll get more into that when we get to the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll jump right into the Thursday night game because that's tomorrow night.
Most people are probably listening today. So
as in Wednesday or Thursday?
It's tonight. It's probably tonight for most people who are listening.
Yeah. Well, it's Wednesday for us. If it's Thursday for you, let's do it. Get your
checkbooks books out.
Get your checkbook out. Start mailing that check. You might want to overnight it because the game starts soon.
Call your bookie.
Yeah, no free plugs. But,
call my bookie, my guy.
Yeah, call Nick's bookie. This game has the Browns favorited, which is an unbelievable thing. I never thought we'd see that with a 0-16 team, but it is what it is. The Jets are traveling to Cleveland. The Jets are getting 3 points. Browns are giving up 3. And the point total is set at 39. Nick, what's your first take on this hot matchup?
The way we've seen Cleveland, they're a kicker away from being 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody's saying that. They're a kicker away from being 2-0.
Against
the
Jets, two serious Super Bowl contenders.
The Jets beat the Lions, who they don't look very good. They look like their only strong suit is Matthew Stafford. And if he struggles, they do terrible. And we saw the Jets play the Dolphins make really bad mistakes and lose that game.
Thoroughly outplayed the Dolphins, but still did enough wrong to lose that game.
They had too many turnovers on the own side of the field. That fumble before half. The Jets just...
Well, I mean, they even recovered the fumble. The play call before half was what did it.
But what I'm saying, they didn't get in.
Yeah, Jeremy Bates dropped the ball on that. I think they could have played it. Yeah, literally. They could have played that a lot safer and taken the field goal, and then you're looking at a different game.
Yeah, but at the same time, they had the touchdown before. He ran into his own player. That's where the fumble occurred.
Yeah. Well, again, I liked the fumble because it gave him a chance to pick it up and try and re-extend, and he came inches short. But it was, I mean, the Jets looked awful at times in that game, and Cleveland, I can't say they've looked awful.
But one thing, too, that we've talked about is Sam Darnold. He's got a learning curve.
Yeah,
it's going to take time for him to learn. He's going to be a solid quarterback, but he's going to need this learning time.
He's 21 years old, youngest quarterback in the NFL right now. He's going to struggle at times, and this defense hasn't allowed many breaks. They've allowed only 21 points against both the Saints and the Steelers.
And we saw what Denzel Ward did to Big Ben week 1.
Denzel Ward can play. You've got Myles Garrett, who's still flying off the edge. Like, this team...
Well, Myles Garrett's playing with like a new ignited fire after that loss too, dude. He looked emotional. I guarantee. I wish we had Hard Knocks for this week because I bet you that Cleveland, like that training facility, being around those players, I bet you they had like a new work ethic.
And you know what? Hugh Jackson also said, gloves are off. That's it. No more games.
Hey, his gloves should have been off, 32 games ago?
But I think Cleveland wins this game with the spread at -3. That's a little bit iffy because that field goal could be huge. But I might lay the points with Cleveland in this.
With them being a favorite finally, I think you gotta take them.
I'm not gonna bet on this game.
They're never favorites.
I won't bet on this game. I think they win it, and I think they could cover that -3. But I've been burned too many times by this team, and I won't do it again.
Yeah, the Browns are literally a curse to bet on.
The win total being set at 39. I like the under. The money is coming in on the over here.
The point total is 39?
Yep, the point total is 39. And right now, 59% of the public is betting on the over.
I like the over here.
I think this could be one of those, like, I mean, again, they've allowed only 21 points.
I think this is going to be like a 24-17 game.
Yeah, and that would put them at 41.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this could be one of those scrappy little Thursday night games. A lot of people are complaining about this being a snooze fest game for Thursday
This
night.
is
I'm
not good.
hyped.
No, yeah, this is gonna be a good game.
A lot of storylines.
I think the Browns in any scenario, even the Jets this year, they're fun to watch. That Jets D is good.
Then you have the Sam Darnold storyline.
Yeah,
You have the Hard
exactly.
Knocks Cleveland storyline. Tyrod Taylor even Baker Mayfield being on the bench is still a storyline.
Just the Browns in general. You have Myles Garrett. This week they got rid of Josh Gordon. You have that, even though he wasn't playing, they still got rid of him.
That is a big loss.
Yeah, and you have, just everybody on that team. If you watched Hard Knocks, you almost have Cleveland climbed up my favorite team ranks just by watching Hard Knocks.
And Jarvis Landry is questionable, but he'll likely play and probably continue to be a big factor. But
Yeah.
So you like the over on the point total. You both like Browns to cover and win.
Yeah, and if you can bet on it, I forgot his name. Their offensive coordinator.
Todd Haley.
Todd Haley fights a Jets player this week.
Yeah.
If you can bet,
He's finally going to have enough.
he's going to snap week 3.
Now, if we want to talk about the Browns of 2018, Buffalo travels to Minnesota in a game that should be disgusting. The Bills are getting 17 in this, and
Minnesota covers that by half.
Minnesota's laying 17, and 64% of the public has their money on Minnesota. The point total set at 41, and again, the vast majority is betting on the over
Wait,
here.
it's 41? That's it?
Yeah, and
I've got
I wouldn't
Minnesota
be shocked.
putting up 41.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. This game's going to come down to how much Minnesota wants to score, but I'm avoiding this game completely. I talked to Nick about it earlier off the air. I think this is a game that Buffalo keeps sneaky close. I think Minnesota wins. I think Buffalo covers with the plus 17. I trust that defense a little bit, despite Devontae Davis retiring at halftime. Bad look, but it's his body. He can do what he wants, I guess. But I don't think this defense is as bad as everyone wants it to be, and I think it could step up this week.
I think the only way Minnesota doesn't cover that spread is they take their foot off the gas pedal and put their second string in. I think they are leading by 17.5.
They might want to come in and get that easy win and then just kind of coast out of there healthy. So
Yeah, exactly. That's why I wouldn't bet on it. Just because if they're up 21, 24-0, there's a good chance that if they're up 24-0 at half, their starters may not play that second half.
yeah,
Because I'm pretty sure their second string could put up points and stop that offense.
I'm not sure where I stand on the point total here. I'm not going to touch this game in general again, but
The
I
only
like
thing I would
Buffalo
bet on,
with the 17.
the only thing I'd bet on in this game is the over.
Yeah,
Over 41. I would take that.
because if Buffalo keeps this within the point spread, they're going to have to put up a good chunk of points.
Well, the point spread is so big that there's no way they're going to hold them. It's not going to be 17-0.
No, I mean,
And it's-
it could be.
But it's like if for both teams to score here, it's going to be over 41. If Buffalo gets on the board, it's already going to be over 41, I think.
Yeah, so I like Buffalo covering. I'm not going to touch it, and I'm not going to tell you guys to bet your money on it. That's up to you.
I'm not even picking for the spread. But if you're going to bet on this, bet the over for the
And
41.
Again, Buffalo's catching 17. I don't hate that at all. So, personally, I will not put a single penny on this, and I probably won't bet on Buffalo at all this year. But if you're in a work league or something where you pay kind of for the year and you have to pick every game, I don't mind Buffalo in this spot. Moving forward, New York Giants travel to Houston. The Giants are getting 6. Houston's laying 6, and the point total set at 41.5. Nick, you can start this one off. The money's
I don't know.
pretty much even on the point spread.
For this, the Giants are going to struggle getting the ball down the field. That Houston's going to bring pressure.
And the Giants' line is atrocious.
Well, the Giants don't have a line. It's literally they're running with 6 players because they're missing the 5 offensive linemen.
It was supposed to be revamped, and it looks actually worse. It might be. Coming into this, everyone thought Houston would have the worst offensive line in football, and the Giants were a turnstile. That entire front 5 was a turnstile for Dallas, who Dallas has one solid pass rusher.
But what scares me too, but on the other side, what have we seen from Deshaun Watson?
Some questionable play. He single-handedly lost that game.
We haven't really seen anything from
Last week.
He's done nothing to me for me to go, oh, this is your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, and I personally like the under on this game at 41.5.
Oh, looks like we're playing blitz.
Weird. House is haunted, probably. 41.5 for the under. I hope that thing doesn't start making noises like it tends to.
It's 45.5, you said?
41.5. The Giants have a solid defense and a really decent front.
Yeah, with both.
Lined up against a questionable offensive line, and the Giants shouldn't be able to move the ball against this Houston defense because that offensive line's so bad. Eli won't have time to do anything. And again, look at Saquon last week.
Yeah.
He can touch the ball a lot, but when he's getting hit 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, he can't do anything.
The only thing, what we saw last week, the only good thing we saw from this Giants team last week is Saquon is good. He broke every first tackle, but it didn't matter.
He played like an animal.
Yeah, but it didn't matter because he was just. If he broke that first tackle, he had 3 more guys to break before he got back to the line of scrimmage.
It was ugly.
But the problem with it is I don't know if Houston can move the ball against the Giants either. I think their best chance is with Lamar Miller.
I don't know. They still got DeAndre Hopkins out there, and Deshaun Watson can get the ball to him. They still have Will Fuller too, who is electric lately. If I had to bet on this, I'm not gonna bet on it. If I had to, though, I would take Houston -6.
Oh, really? I would go Giants +6 in the under.
I think Houston could win this game by a touchdown. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think they could win this by a touchdown. And again, the under, I actually am. I'm big on. I'm considering actually betting on that. Right now, 68% of the public's betting on the over for 41.5.
Wow,
it's
a small. Well, that's because that's a small line.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you don't really see a lot of games under.
That's one of the smaller ones you'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to see a next one, let's move into the next game. San Francisco at Kansas City. San Francisco is getting 6.5, so the Chiefs are obviously laying 6.5. Point total set at 56 points, with 66% of the public taking the over.
Can I break this? What I think is going to happen in this game?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, with this game, you and I talked about it. The thing with 49ers bringing Richard Sherman in is he's a guy who's going to have a plan for these Kansas City receivers, and he's going to have a plan on how to slow Pat Mahomes down.
For each of the corners, too.
Exactly. And if the team can play to Richard Sherman and the D coordinator's game plan, I think Pat Mahomes, he could struggle this game, especially if DeForest Buckner plays the way he's been playing.
And Reuben Foster is activated for this
Reuben
game.
Foster is back, so expect them to bring a lot of pressure. And the best way, if you have a quarterback going off like this, especially a young guy, is get in his face, hit him, and keep hitting him and make it so. We talked about this. You may have to double cover Tyreek Hill, try to get a linebacker to either bump Travis Kelce so he's struggling to get off the line, or just get a good coverage linebacker on him. The 49ers really don't have a great coverage linebacker, but if they can bump him on the line, slow him off the line a little bit, and get pressure on Pat Mahomes and force him to throw the ball to somewhere he doesn't want to throw it, it could be a great day for the 49ers. Kansas City's defense isn't good, so Jimmy G and Matt Breida could have a good day here.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. 56 is a high point total, but I don't hate going over.
Yeah,
I don't hate that at all.
It's a good chance it's going to be over.
But I also worry for the San Francisco secondary. Kella Witherspoon showed signs of struggle, and I'm worried because you have to worry here about Tyreek Hill, the Oregon kid out there. You still have to worry about Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt, Patrick Mahomes taking off on his feet. This is going to be a shootout probably. If San Francisco can get pressure up front, I think this could be the worst of Patrick Mahomes' 3 games.
Watch, we're saying this all right now, and this game's going to end 9-0, 3 Robbie Gould field goals.
Dude, I'd take it. As far as against the line goes, with San Francisco getting 6.5, it's hard to ignore almost a full touchdown.
I'd take it.
If it was 7.5, I would take San Francisco in a heartbeat, I think, because I could see him keeping it within a touchdown. But I also wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers dropped this game by 7 or more.
But
it's a rough line.
Kansas City's only won, what is it? They've won by 8 is their highest score. Wasn't the Chargers were 7, right?
Chargers, I think it was like 35-28, yeah.
So, and then they won by 8 against the Steelers.
I believe so.
And we'll get into it with the Steelers. I don't think they're that great. San Fran, I would take them at 6.5. Getting 6.5, I'm taking San Fran. I think this could be San Fran's big win of the year.
Yeah, I would like to see them pull that off, and I think it's not out of the question. DeForest Buckner is a guy who can knock any quarterback off of his rhythm.
You're also a guy who refuses to bet on the 49ers, so I can see you hesitating here too. Why you're hesitating? You don't like betting on your own team. No, like most bettors.
It's a rough thing to do, and I try to avoid it at all costs. I'm not going to touch these guys in any line, really. Maybe the over, because it's hard not to take the over with the way this game's lining up. It's 2 questionable secondaries with 2 should-be explosive offenses. I would probably lean Chiefs to cover the spread here, unfortunately, and that's all I've got for this game.
Yeah, I think I'm going under on that spread though. It may be over, but I don't know.
It could. If the 49ers win this game, it will be under.
My thing is if Pat Mahomes if he throws 4 touchdowns, man, again.
Yeah, then what are you gonna say next week?
It's just like, come on, he's at 14 touchdowns. It's just, and the 49ers really aren't turnover machines.
No.
So he may not throw an interception this game.
Yeah.
Like, that's very possible, especially with Richard Sherman. He just loves batting the ball down anyway.
SWAT team, yeah.
So it's just, I'm going under on this. Pat Mahomes throwing another 4 touchdowns, that would blow my mind.
If the 49ers win this game, I think it will be under the point spread.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Because
and I'm
have to be
taking
DeForest Buckner and Reuben Foster coming off the edge to knock him out of his rhythm. I'm with you on this. I think the 49ers could very well come out and win this game.
See, I don't know if it's just me being against the Chiefs this much, but last week I had them beating the Steelers, which they did. And now it's just, I think the 49ers, this could be their big win this year.
See,
they could go, the 49ers could go 8-8, but they'd be like, we did beat the Chiefs.
I can see the 49ers winning that, but I'm not confident enough to put money on it, and that's all I've got there. I kind of have to go with the Chiefs just because Patrick Mahomes has looked otherworldly thus far. Moving forward, another game that I personally won't touch because it's 2 kind of wild cards right now.
Always the best games of the year, though.
The Saints. You have a question. Oh, we have a question from a viewer.
So you're saying don't bet this game?
What game?
The last one you're talking about?
The 49ers Chiefs game? I would bet the 49ers Chiefs game. I would take the 49ers. You wouldn't.
I personally won't. Again, like Nick said, I try to avoid betting on my own team here, but there's a lot of value if you can get the 49ers at plus 6.5, and if you can tie this into any sort of parlay or teaser, and you can pull another 3 to 6 points out of here and get it to 9.5 or even 12.5. Especially in a teaser, I don't mind San Francisco at all. They're not going to get beat by 2 touchdowns in this game, and they could also win this. If you're betting on the money line, I wouldn't. You're going to find value at San Francisco because they should be decent dogs. I don't have the exact money line here, but that's a lot to ask of a team who struggles defensively against the hottest offense in the league. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to taking the 49ers at plus 6.5. It should be a shootout between these two teams.
Like you said, if you can parlay them and get that number up a little bit, it definitely take the 49ers.
And moving into New Orleans and Atlanta. New Orleans is getting 3 points. Atlanta is favorited 3 here. You've got the point total set at 53 with 71% of the public betting the over.
I love these matchups. These are always some of the best. New Orleans and the Falcons are always, their 2 games every year are always amazing games.
And these are the 2 teams that we've seen the biggest variance in between weeks 1 and 2, really.
Exactly.
They have been 2 different teams each week, and now they're coming head-to-head in week 3. And I don't know. I mean, Atlanta's coming into this game without Deion Jones and Keanu Neal. But New Orleans also hasn't shown to be the Super Bowl contender everybody expected them to look like.
This is their last week without Mark Ingram, right?
I think he might have been suspended 4. I think he comes back week 5.
Oh, does he? So, this one, at the Saints are getting 3, that says?
Saints are getting 3. It's just the typical home favorite, minus 3.
I'm going Saints plus 3 here. I think even when they played the Bucs, defensively, they didn't look good, but also Fitzpatrick's looked amazing. So,
especially when he wears Deshaun Jackson's clothes.
Yeah, and now Drew Brees still amazing game week 1. I don't remember what was his stats week 2. I'm assuming they're up there because it's Drew Brees.
Yeah, he played well. Michael Thomas pulled through at the end. I mean, they didn't throw a crazy amount of touchdowns. They only scored 21 points, but.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to go New Orleans with this one. They struggled against the Browns. Expect them to bounce back against the Falcons, even though they won that game against the Browns. Expect them to bounce back big against the Falcons.
I'm going the opposite way here. I like Atlanta. Steve Sarkisian really seemed to figure out the red zone struggles that he had last week. Matt Ryan ran for 2 touchdowns. They were hitting Calvin Ridley. They looked like the efficient offense they're supposed to be. I'm going to avoid the point total here. I think it should fall under. I like the under on 53.
Yeah,
but Atlanta's defense is banged up, and I'm kind of nervous about that. And if the Saints defense doesn't show up like it hasn't really showed up lately, then I can't
Well, and also,
be confident on that.
with you saying the Falcons defense is beat up, Drew Brees just needs to see one hole, and he will exploit that the whole game.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
will literally run the same route over and over at that hole until they fix it.
But I like Atlanta coming into this. 3 is a lot to lay in this matchup, but you can't really put it much lower. This really levels the playing field here. I don't think it's confidence either way. I think this is one of those picks that could really go to either side. But I'm personally going Atlanta here. I'm not going to lock it in, but I will probably use this in a teaser and get it at +3 for Atlanta. I don't hate that at all. But that's all I've got here.
Yeah, I'm going New Orleans minus +3.
I like that we're disagreeing here. We'll have
Yeah.
a little war of
This
words on Sunday. Huh?
Next game is my big lock of the week.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Green Bay traveling to the capital
All right, going to the Redskins.
to take on the Washington Redskins. Green Bay is laying 3 on this. I like a good road favorite. That's kind of exciting. And the home dog, Redskins +3. The public is heavily leaning towards Green Bay. And the point total set at 46, which is also heavily taken by the public.
Yeah, I'm going.
Over 46, that is.
I'm leaning I'm going with the public on the -3 to Green Bay. Green Bay's.
They're going to win this game big.
Yeah, Washington, they lost 21-9 to the Colts, and they got to the red zone but couldn't score. Green Bay, I think, Green Bay has a better defense than the Colts.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the NFL. So I'm going to go with Green Bay to win, cover the spread -3, but I'm going to go under on the point spread, actually.
I kind of like the under on this, but
I just don't see Washington really putting up points. We're seeing Alex Smith struggle, which is weird to see.
and I don't see Green Bay coming out and putting up 35 in this
Yeah.
game, but I could see them winning at 21 to a single digit.
21-9 would make sense again.
Yeah, I like Green Bay with the points. This is another team I will be using in my teaser because I'll pull these guys up to +3 on the road, and I would feel remarkably comfortable with that. Again, Green Bay -3 I like. I'll probably lean the under on 46, but I will not bet on the under in this game. I'm not super comfortable with it.
I feel like we're disagreeing in this next one as well.
Colts travel to Philadelphia. Carson Wentz is back home, and the point total is set at 47.5. The money is pretty even on both the point spread and the point total.
You go first. I want to see what you do.
I mean, this is rough. Jason Peters is a little bit banged up. They lost Mac Hollins.
Darius Leonard's playing well. The Colts linebackers are playing well.
And the Eagles lost Mac Hollins and Mike Wallace. They pulled in Jordan Matthews again. Carson Wentz is back. If Jabal Sheard gets lined up with a banged-up Jason Peters, I kind of like his odds getting Carson Wentz off of his game and making him roll out on that. I mean, it's not injured anymore, but he's going to play weird on that leg at first.
He also had this.
I might take the Eagles -6 here. I don't like it, and I might take that into a teaser down the road. I'll have to look into it closer to Sunday and take the Eagles at a pick'em. But I would probably lean the Eagles -6.
Indy's going 2-1, and Philly's going to lose back-to-back games here. I think Carson Wentz, he's going to struggle this game. This is his first game back in a long time. Since what, like week 13, right?
I don't remember the exact week, but yeah, in that ballpark.
And Indy's defense, yeah, they allowed a lot of yards against the Redskins, but the Redskins could not score. And the whole linebacker core looked good against the Redskins. And I like Indy in this game. I'm just feeling them, especially with +6. I think they actually win this game. I think it's gonna be a closer game, but Indy has this way of getting up. I think when they played the Bengals, they were beating the Bengals until the fourth quarter and kind of shot themselves in the foot. Yes, they were down, but they were driving down the field, fumbled the ball, brought back for the 86-yard touchdown return, whatever it was. The Colts, I don't think they're a bad team. They just need to figure out how to lock it up at the end of the game. They did that against the Redskins. The Redskins they held the Redskins, didn't allow any points in the fourth. If they can keep that up against Philly, I think Indy could get an early lead here and just hold on to it.
The Eagles boast one of the most lethal pass rushes, and not even just deadly from their starters, but they have so much depth and they constantly rotate fresh guys in. They're going to keep Andrew Luck off of this spot. It's going to be a tense game for that offensive line.
I think they're going to run a lot of max protect trying to get.
Do we know if Costanzo is back?
He's questionable.
If he doesn't play, Andrew Luck's in for a long night. If he does play, it's still going to be a rough game, I would imagine, for the Colts. That defensive front's insane, and Nigel Bradham might be back. I'm not positive. I would have to look into that. I can check, but I'm not even going to check right now because it's not a deal breaker here.
Again, I'm an Indy fan, and I always lean. I've always got strong feelings for Indy beating everyone, but I think they beat Philly this week. Early season win, and it could pay dividends in the end of the season.
All right, well, I've got Philly against the spread. You've got the Colts.
Definitely the under, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not touching the point spread at 47.5. If I had to lean one way, I might go over. No, I'd probably go under. I'd probably actually really go under on that, but I'd have to look more into who's playing and who's not playing. Moving forward to our producer's favorite team. Producer Pops is facing off. We've got Oakland traveling to Miami. He's a Miami fan, and they're laying 3 at home, and the point total's at 44. This is a game I'm very intrigued by. Where do you sit on this one?
I think Miami covers that point spread. Oakland's terrible. They're so bad. They came out. People gave them a little too much credit against that first week against the Rams. I think the Rams were figuring out their own thing, and also didn't think John Gruden was going to play 1970s football.
Well, the Rams didn't play in the first half or the entire preseason either. So
exactly.
That first half was their preseason.
So I think given that, and then what we saw the second half, it's just this Raiders team. They struggle. They couldn't hold on to their lead against the Broncos.
No, but they led until they led in that game until 30 seconds left.
But it's just, I think the Dolphins are better than the Broncos, and I think the Dolphins are going 3-0. I think they're going to beat, especially being home. Miami tends to struggle at home, actually, but I think they get this one done. Hopefully it's not a 7-hour game, and neither one of these teams are high scorers, so 44, I'm going to go under on it.
I'll probably lean the under on here, too. I could see this being another game where the winner has less than 21 points. But I think I'm going to have to lean Oakland with the points. As far as on the money line goes, that's a rough one. I think Oakland could win this game outright. And I'm all for hating on John Gruden. I can't stand the guy personally. But I think this is the week they kind of get it done. They're coming out and, they're playing with house money here, It's one of those things where the Raiders are coming out here, and this isn't a great Miami team.
But the problem is they don't have a pass rush, and Ryan Tannehill is not a bad quarterback. If you give him time, he will find openings.
No, he's not a bad quarterback, but Derek Carr played very well, and I think that's something that's going to continue. And I don't know. I like Oakland at the spot getting the points, and I think they win a close game. That's low scoring. I think the Dolphins fall to 2-1, which ultimately isn't a bad situation for the Dolphins at all. But I also think Miami's the better team here. I just don't think they win this game. We've got Denver traveling to Baltimore. Denver is getting 5. Baltimore's laying 5, and the point total's at 43.
I struggle with this one. I think Baltimore's getting 5, you said.
No, Baltimore's giving 5.
Oh, they're giving 5. Denver covers that spread, but I think Baltimore wins this game. And then 43 is the line.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go under with the line. I think this is gonna be a low scoring game. This could be like a 10-13 game.
We've got a lot of at times bad quarterback play in this game.
Exactly.
Good defenses, and because it's low scoring, I might have to take Denver plus 5. This isn't a bad one to tie into a teaser if you can get Denver up to plus 11. We've got 2 solid defenses clashing. I think the Ravens will win this game outright. They are the better football team as much as I love Denver, but I think Denver can cover with the 5. You got anything to add to that?
No, that's it, really.
This game's exciting. Cincinnati and Carolina. Cincinnati's getting 3. And
as a 2-0 team.
And the point total's at 43.5. I'm going to start this one off.
Go ahead.
Carolina's got a real banged-up offensive line with Darrell Williams out. They also have Greg Olsen, who's not on the field. He'll come back later in the year, but he's got foot problems again. That that offense is going to take some hits here, and Cincinnati's got a solid defense. They've got a great defensive front, a excellent secondary. I don't see how Carolina moves the ball efficiently against these guys, and I think Cincinnati wins this game outright.
The only way, Carolina, they may get one good drive. The only way they're getting in the end zone, though, is if Cam can be tricky and get in there.
The only reason I am personally not betting on this game is because with Joe Mixon out, a lot of the workload will fall on Giovanni Bernard, and I don't love that. They
I
still
think
have
that's
Andy
why
Dalton
they're getting
and
points, though. It's just because Joe Mixon's out. He's the
Joe
second
Mixon's
leading rusher.
a huge part of this offense, and you still have A.J. Green and
but Andy
Tyler
Dalton's going to be
Boyd
forced to throw now.
and Tyler Eifert and John Ross. Like,
But
you
he's-
have talented guys, but
You're still forcing Andy Dalton, who you're on record saying he's mediocre at best.
he is. He's the average. Like, he's the baseline quarterback in the NFL.
But the problem is now he's forced to throw.
He's the mean.
And we'll have to see if he can move the ball against these Panthers defense.
I mean, Giovanni Bernard is no slouch either. I just don't think
He's
he's
just
the
not
same
Joe
kind
Mixon.
of he's not the same kind of back as Joe Mixon, and I don't think I can bet on this. I think Cincinnati should win this game. They are the better team as a whole. And if Joe Mixon was in here, I would be hammering the points here if they were still getting 3.
I'm actually going to go. I'm going Carolina -3. What's the 43.5?
Yeah, 43.5 point total.
And I'm going to go over on the 43.5. I think Carolina, they're a weird team, especially to bet on. They just somehow get it done.
Cam Newton's notorious for just getting things done. That's
Yeah.
why I love him as a fantasy quarterback.
But I think this is going to be a big week from him fantasy-wise, and he's going to get this one done. Since he's a great team, but Carolina, I get that feeling that he's getting it done this week.
Yeah, again, this is one where, again, I won't touch it. It can go either way with Giovanni or
Yeah, I wouldn't
with Joe
touch
Mixon
this.
out. If Joe Mixon was in this game, I would have no problem taking
Well,
Cincinnati.
since he wouldn't be getting points
But
if Joe Mixon was playing.
I'd have no problem taking Cincinnati giving points in this. I think they would be significantly the better team, but this Cincinnati offense should come out and be very predictable, and that's something that the Panthers could capitalize on. So I'm a little bit worried about that. I'm not going to touch this game, but I would lean Cincinnati getting points. My Tennessee Titans travel to Jacksonville to take on the Giant Slayers.
Blake
Jags-
Bortles is good.
The Jags are coming off of a big win over the Patriots, where Blake Bortles threw for 4 touchdowns. The Titans won a weird game. It's the only way to put it, against the Texans. Titans are getting 6.5 here. Jags are giving 6.5, obviously, and the point total is set at 39.5.
The hardest part about this game is it's a division game. Jacksonville, especially in the AFC South, weird things happen in this division.
Now, keep in mind, Tennessee's top 3 tackles are out.
Yeah.
Delaney Walker's out for the season. They're still missing one of their pass rushers, and Marcus Mariota, I don't know if he's playing. As of yesterday, he still didn't have feeling in his hand.
So I'm going Jacksonville just because that offense, that was an electric offense against the Patriots.
Dude, Keelan Cole's a freak.
And if they play like that against the Titans, they will dominate the Titans. The biggest problem for the Titans is, even with Marcus Mariota, I don't see how they move it against this Jags, especially without Delaney Walker. I don't see how they move it against the Jags.
I mean, they still have that Corey Davis and Tywan Taylor duo there. You got Deion Lewis and Derrick Henry, which I love, and they ran a lot of cool little Wildcat type trick plays last week, which I thought was exciting. They really did a good job at taking Blaine Gabbert out of this football game.
I just don't see them catching the Jags off guard with all that trick play, especially now that they've seen it.
And in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's home. That's a rowdy crowd. They, sip a few drinks, have some fun in the Florida heat, and yell at some football players. And I think I'm all for the Titans, but they are banged up. I rode the Titans hard this offseason, but they have suffered with they've handed a lot of injuries, and it's hard for me to stay as high on this team. And I think the Jags come out and get it done. The point total at 39.5 is hard.
Over.
I like the over because I think the Jags could come out and put up points, but I like the Titans defense and I like the Jags defense. I'm going under on the point total at 39.5.
I'm going to go Jags cover the 6.5, and they get the over here.
I think Jags would win by a touchdown, and then it falls short of the point total. Moving forward.
4 o'clock games, baby.
And after we go through all these, we'll do a quick little fantasy sleeper recap.
Yeah.
Moving into the first 4 o'clock game on our list, the Chargers travel. I guess not really travel, but they take on the Rams.
They go next door to the Rams.
The Chargers are getting 6.5 here, and the point total is 48.
This could be the game that the Rams... we talked about this before. The Rams There's a solid chance they're in the Super Bowl this year.
They're the best team in football right
They
now.
look amazing. They could go down as one of the best teams historically. They're going to lose a few games this year, though. And the Chargers, Phillip Rivers, I mean, he finds a way to put up 400 yards, it seems like, every week. Actually, I'm going Rams. Screw
Yeah.
it. I'm going Rams. They cover.
I'm going.
They cover. And
This is the chart. The point total is 48.
I'm
That's
going
a rough
over.
point total. I might lean
both
the
these
over.
teams to score.
I might lean the over on the point total, but that Rams defense is legit. The Chargers have a good defense. The Rams win this game and cover. I think the Chargers are horrible in the beginning and end of the year. Usually, they really blow every game that they should win. This is another game I do have tied into a teaser because I'm able to pull the Rams down to a pick'em, and that's, I feel like, taking candy from a baby there. The Rams should win this game, and they should win it pretty big. There's not too much to add to that.
Yeah, I'm sorry for lying to everybody thinking the Chargers could beat them. It's the Rams all day.
Yeah, the Rams are the better team by a mile. This game is one that I'm actually not excited for. Dallas travels to Seattle.
No, dude, you're talking about it's Ezekiel Elliott versus Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Zeke's going to Russ's house, and they're gonna play one-on-one essentially.
It's literally, it's pretty much all we're gonna see.
I mean, Dak looked good against the Giants, but the Giants didn't look great in that game,
The Giants were down
and
too.
Dak didn't look, great in that game either.
No.
They came out and threw early, and Dak had that early touchdown drive to start the game. Beyond that, he didn't look like anything special. But moving forward, the Cowboys are getting 3 in this game. Seattle's laying 3.
One thing we
Point
can
total
say,
is 44.5.
one thing we can say about the Seattle team, their defense doesn't look as terrible as people thought they would.
No.
They're finding a way to get turnovers.
Shaq Griffin had 2 picks yesterday.
And
Or not yesterday, Monday.
and their defense looks solid. That's going to be a big problem for Dallas. I wouldn't be surprised if Dak throws 2 picks this game. If Russ cannot get hit every 2 steps he takes, his turnovers are literally due to him getting hit. Like that forced fumble against the Bears. That happened because he was getting hit. People are like, the commentator said, "Oh, it's his awareness." It's like, well, no, the dude's trying to make something happen. There's no time left. And if he can get 3 seconds, they will win this game. If he can be able to drop back 3 steps, they will win. It's just that line needs to step up for one game, and they'll win this game.
I might take Dallas in this game. I think Dallas could win this game. I think Zeke should have a big day. I might be a little bit crazy here and take the over on the 44.5. I don't trust that Dallas pass rush at all. And while the Seahawks don't have a great line, I think Russ is going to make plays happen.
Yeah,
I think the Cowboys are going to move the ball a lot. I think they could break that 44.5 point total. But I do like the Cowboys plus 3 in general.
I'm gonna go under on it. Seattle's line, even though Dallas doesn't have a pass rush, I still think they're gonna get through, and Russ is gonna be scrambling, but he's gonna find a way to get guys open. He's not playing the Bears. What was
No.
the final score of that game? Was it 24-17?
Somewhere in that ballpark. I really
So
don't
like
remember.
for him to put up 17 points on the Bears, he's gonna put up points on Dallas, I think.
Yeah, and there's no doubt he should. That's why I don't mind the over on this. I think both of these teams could move the ball. And again, this is one I don't want to bet on because I don't know what I'm getting from either of these teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Neither of these teams really impress me on pretty much any front except for their 2 star players.
My one thing for this game, though, Seattle is home for the first time this year,
And that crowd can be wild.
and they are always good at home.
Yeah, and that's why another reason I won't touch it. Because Seattle could come out and win this game by 15.
Yeah.
But moving forward, Chicago travels to Arizona, and somehow this game is the Bears are only favored 4. I don't have much to say here. Take the Bears.
Yeah, just take the Bears.
This Arizona offense has been a mess. They moved the ball past the 50 once last week against the Rams, and that was the last drive of the game. They had, I think, 2 plays on the opposing side of the field.
And I think Chicago's defense is better.
Chicago has a great defense. The Cardinals don't have much of an offensive line, and this Chicago defensive front is going to feast on them.
I think Roquan Smith is going to get a few sacks. He's going to come right up the middle on this. The Cardinals don't have A.Q. Shipley. He's gonna attack that center.
And I mean, Khalil Mack and Leonard Floyd
Yeah,
have
exactly.
looked like monsters. Danny Trevathan still looks like a beast here.
So I don't see Sam Bradford could get hurt this week. I'm sorry, Sam.
I don't have a point total for this game.
Now, do you want to have? Should we have the funeral for Sam Bradford now or wait till Sunday? He's gonna get hurt this
He
game.
might, and we might get to see Josh Rosen. Which
So should
I'm
we?
not mad at. I want to see Josh Rosen play. Like,
So-
what do you have to lose at this point?
Are you holding off on the funeral?
Yeah, we'll hold off on it. But on a real note, why not play Josh Rosen soon?
Because it's only week 2.
But what is there to lose? You're not moving the ball against anybody. This
David
is a
Johnson's
joke.
David Johnson's lining up in the slot this week, dude.
David Johnson's a stud.
Yeah, but
And it
it's
sucks
not
that
gonna
he's
matter
getting his ass
because
beat.
it's not gonna matter because Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, and Leonard are literally gonna gobble Sam Bradford up. He's
I
not gonna
would-
be like he's gonna get hit and turn to dust.
The Bears again at -4 here. I don't think you can go wrong with this. And if you're getting them, if you're running any sort of teaser, throw the 6 on the Bears here, get them to +2, and just know that this one's covered. I mean, this game should be. I don't know how this is at -4
Unless the
because you
Bears
have the. I mean, you have the 3-point favorite here for the home field basically. So this game they think would be a 7-point difference. And I think the Bears should win this game by much more than that. I
Yeah.
think they'll win by much more than 4. This offense finally has a chance to go off against the Cardinals' defense, which hasn't been impressive. And
this is the
the
first
defense
time,
might score some points.
this is the first time. I said the defense will score here. The defense will cover the spread. One thing I can say here is that Mitch Trubisky's finally getting game. That Packers defense, they brought the heat against him. And then Seattle, they're a good defense. Arizona's terrible.
Yeah, it's
Mitchell-
just Chandler Jones.
Yeah, Mitchell Trubisky can hang out now. He can look for his progressions. You know, he doesn't have to just drop it off to Trey Burton and hope Trey Burton can get to that first down or get it to Tyreek Cohen. He can look for his receivers. Expect big numbers from him this week.
Hey, he's got legs too.
Yeah, I would expect this
He
is.
can fly.
We're getting into fantasy sleepers later. He's a fantasy sleeper this week.
Is he?
I think so. I think he puts up 3 or 4 touchdowns this week.
Moving forward to the 8:20 primetime Sunday night game. New England, coming off of a harsh loss in Jacksonville, is back-to-back on the road here, going to Detroit to take on Bill Belichick's former pupil, Matt Patricia's Lions.
Okay,
The Lions are getting 6.5 here, and the point total is set at 51.5.
just going off of New England stats, where New England hasn't lost a back-to-back game since Tom Brady started, and I don't think Bill Belichick's ever lost to one of his pupils. So I'm going to go off New England's going to destroy them. Josh Gordon, they said, will take snaps in this game. So it's just
Julian Edelman's back in 2 weeks.
the Patriots Rams Super Bowl.
Patriots should win this game big. They
Yeah.
will cover the 6.5.
Patriots defense is not bad. I think they just had a bad game against the Jags too.
To go with another teaser here, take the +6 for the Patriots and bring them down to a pick'em. If you can work them into your teaser, grab them because the Patriots at a pick'em is easy.
Especially after a loss the week before.
Yeah, they are going to win this game and they're going to win it comfortably over I think a bad Detroit team.
Yeah.
As far as the point total goes, I don't know
I'm
because
going to
the-
go under just because I don't know if the Lions may only score a field goal.
the Lions have talent on defense and the Patriots also have talent on defense, so I don't know what to expect from the total score here. I'll have to look more into that one. I do the article that I do where I pick every game with the points and against the spread. That'll be out tonight, by the way, so tune in for that. But as far as the spread goes here, definitely New England, and with a teaser, definitely work New England into that because that's a free win. The Monday night game, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, Pittsburgh travels to Tampa Bay. Fitzmagic is getting +2 at home, and the point total is at 53.5.
Now, Pittsburgh, where they lack is where Tampa Bay is great. Tampa Bay's receivers are getting open against secondaries. Pittsburgh doesn't have a great secondary. Fitzpatrick's just hitting wide open receivers, and they go 3-0. Pittsburgh's going to be 0-2-1, I think. I think Fitzmagic he's going to get to start week 4 over Jameis, and this game's going to be a big reason why. I would not be surprised if he throws another 400 yards, 3 touchdowns against the Steelers team. The Steelers they have pass rush, but that's really it on defense.
There's a lot of dysfunction in this locker room right now between
That
Le'Veon
too.
Bell out at strip clubs and
AB just doing
AB tweeting at old employees about how he should be traded to find out if he's actually good and not showing up to
Fighting with
practice
offensive
on Monday
coordinators.
and fighting with Randy Fichtner. This team is going through a lot, and I think the Bucs. I have a hard time trusting Ryan Fitzpatrick to keep doing this, but last year we all sat here every week and said, "I'll just wait. Case Keenum,
We did.
the wheels will fall off, and he'll be back to Case Keenum." But sometimes guys just have years, and
This is his year, I think.
if this is a Ryan Fitzpatrick year and he comes out and plays good football, the Bucs win this game. I feel okay taking them at +2. If you can get them, if you want to play with them in a teaser and pull them up to +8, if you're a little bit nervous, it's not a bad move because that's a comfortable spot. That gives them a touchdown. And Pittsburgh obviously hasn't won a game, and they are playing in only close games that are one-score games.
Now, for that 53.5, I'm going to go over just because Pittsburgh has so many offensive weapons. It really doesn't matter how good your defense is. They will find a way to score on you.
And they have a bad defense.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay will score. If Fitzpatrick plays the way he has been, he will score 28 points.
These guys should both put up points.
Yeah.
The only way
Exciting
Pittsburgh
Monday
wins this is if Ryan Fitzpatrick falls off.
Yeah, exactly.
If he plays anything, even like a little bit of what he's been playing, like they should win this game big.
Another problem is Tampa Bay at home. They are a good team at home.
Yeah, despite not having the craziest home field advantage,
Yeah.
they play well not traveling. And were they home last week? No.
Who did they play?
Yeah, they were home last
Yeah.
week. They hosted Kansas City.
Yeah, because
So they've been home for 2 weeks. Like that's nice. They're sitting. They're comfortable.
no, Tampa Bay didn't play Kansas City.
Tampa Bay. Oh no, they didn't. Pittsburgh did.
Yeah.
Who Tampa Bay beat last week? Why am I drawing a blank on this?
The Eagles.
Oh yeah.
They beat the Eagles. Was that in Philly?
I don't know. Let me check.
It may have been home because they were away against the Saints. they were-
they were home.
Yeah, and they beat Philly at home.
So the Bucs are home 2 weeks in a row here. They've been chilling in Tampa. I like the Bucs in this game at +2 and outright.
Fitzpatrick's catching some rays, and then he's gonna come out and throw a few tutters.
Yep, with his chest hair looking great.
Oh yeah, dude, he may wear Deshaun Jackson's jersey.
So those are the general picks here. Again, I'll have an article up with the best bets and all these typed out. For now, I already wrote my fantasy article for the week. If you want to check that out, we've got some sleepers and cheap DFS guys. But we're going to go through and talk about some potential fantasy guys if you want to snag them, if you're having trouble at a position. I'm going to start with Matt Breida, the San Francisco running back. I think he's in for a huge game against Kansas City this week. Kansas City's really struggled.
And another way to slow Pat Mahomes down is don't let the ball go in his hands.
Yeah, they're going to get the run game going, and I have...
So if Breida, if they get the run game going, he's going to not only put up points for your fantasy team, but he could carry the 49ers to a win.
I have here that the Chiefs have given up the 5th most fantasy points to running backs this far into the season. Breida will play a big role in this with Jerick McKinnon obviously out. Alfred Morris isn't going to be popping off and catching any passes, I don't think, but I could see Matt Breida being used more in the pass game than he has been. I like him here. I don't trust this Kansas City defense one bit, and Matt Breida could make them pay for that. I also like Giovanni Bernard in Cincinnati.
I think just because he's kind of their only option at running back is why I like him, and they have a solid line, and they're going to try not to...
They're going to try to not be predictable. They're going
Yeah,
to
they
try
don't
and
want...
get him involved.
They also don't want Andy Dalton probably throwing the ball 40 times. They tend to win when he doesn't throw the ball 40 times. So let's not let him throw the ball 40 times. Let's get the run game going.
And we've got some leagues that I'm in. I've seen Deshaun Jackson still on the waiver. He might not be in your league, but if he is, take your chance on him. This Pittsburgh defense is bad. They've allowed the 7th most points to wideouts this season.
And he's still fast.
And he's fast, and he's the guy.
Yeah.
You know,
And the thing is you have to double cover Mike Evans, which leaves Deshaun Jackson open.
Yeah, he's the guy that stretches the field, and Ryan Fitzpatrick is loving him lately.
Yeah.
I also like Albert Wilson in Miami. This is a little bit of a long shot here.
I don't think so.
Oakland has allowed they're 21st in points allowed by opposing fantasy wideouts. So they've done well against against opposing receivers, but Albert Wilson gets used in a lot of crafty ways, and he's great at running clean routes underneath to create separation and moving with the ball.
Exactly.
They use him as a running back. They use him as a slot guy. They use him as an outside receiver. we could see a lot from him this week in a little bit of a scrappy game against Oakland, I'm guessing. I don't think this is going to be a nice, like, fun, friendly game. I think it's going to be a little intense.
It's going to be like a 21-18 game, 21-16 around there.
And Albert Wilson's a dynamic player who can make things happen. He's fast and shifty, and I like guys like that. Jesse James in Pittsburgh, I'm not huge on him, but Big Ben's loving him. Vance McDonald is the better tight end on this team, but Jesse James is being utilized efficiently in the pass game. Last week he had 5 catches on 5 targets for 138 yards and a touchdown. I think against this Tampa Bay defense, they have decent enough talent in the secondary, and I think you're going to see a lot of good looks for Jesse James. Big Ben, again, likes to hit him. And the Bucs have allowed the 6th most points to tight ends this year and 2nd most receiving yards in total. So I could see Jesse James playing a little bit of a role in this game. Another wide receiver, again, like we talked about, Keelan Cole. He was otherworldly last week, catching 7 of 8 targets for 116 yards and a touchdown, and probably the coolest catch I've ever seen.
Well, now expect Blake Bortles to look at him more often.
Have you seen that catch?
I have seen it. The one-handed catch over the Patriots defender, yeah.
That was better than OBJ's catch, I think. That was insane.
But from a fantasy standpoint, because style catches don't get you anything, Keelan Cole is going to get more looks from Blake Bortles, I think.
The style catch does get you hype, dude. That gets momentum going. Keelan Cole will get looks. He's the guy there with why am I drawing a blank here?
Well, Dante
Marquise Lee. Marquise Lee out
Hurt.
For the year. Yeah. And again, they got rid of Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson, so Keelan Cole's kind of been the guy here. I like him. This Titans defense is a little bit shaky, and they're not getting the pass rush that they should be getting. It's a banged-up football team, and the Jags need to come out and score early, and Keelan Cole could get involved with that. If Leonard Fournette plays, I don't expect the offensive production to be what it could be. I think he really restricts that team and makes them a much more predictable offense.
Which is funny because it's not really his fault. They just give him the ball when he's on the field.
They just, for some reason, think he's better. Like, he's a great running back, but he's not the guy you can hand the ball to over and over again and make things happen. You need to let Blake Bortles drop back and throw the ball on first down if you want to win games with him.
And the thing is you have a quarterback who can throw the ball. Let's utilize him.
Blake Bortles is only bad when they know the pass is coming.
Yeah.
I like him.
Leonard Fournette sets up that play action, too.
When he's dropped, and TJ Yeldon and Corey Grant looked great.
Yep.
I like those two guys a lot. I'm kind of not looking forward to when Leonard Fournette comes back. I think it makes this offense a lot more boring. If you're looking for a defense, the Cleveland Browns, believe it or not. Darnold has thrown 3 picks this year. He threw 2 last week. And
a pick six his first pass.
A pick six with his first pass in the NFL. This game should be low scoring, so you're not going to lose a lot of points on opposing touchdowns here. And I think we could see the Browns force some turnovers in what I think should be their first win of the year.
Yep.
And Hugh Jackson will still not win a game on a Sunday.
Yep.
And if you're looking for a kicker, lastly, Greg Zuerlein's out for a not listed amount of time, but a handful of weeks. Look at Sam Ficken. He's the guy in Los Angeles right now.
Just off extra points alone.
Yeah, and if you're taking a kicker out of Los Angeles, for sure, fade the Chargers. You don't need anybody they have because that never works out. So Sam Ficken's the guy you're looking for there.
Or Dan Bailey in Minnesota.
Dan Bailey in Minnesota, but he's probably gone because a lot of people picked him up as soon as he came in. Sam Ficken kind of doesn't get the love Dan Bailey gets. But I don't mind Sam Ficken here. As far as fantasy and our betting goes, that's really all I've got. You can email either me or Nick. I mean, I'm Timothy Chur at sports-dorks.com. Nick Kappas at sports-dorks.com. You can find us there. DM us if you know us. I mean, you can DM us and ask to text us or whatever you got to do. I don't care. I'll talk fantasy or betting at any time, even if it's other sports. Let's do it.
Well, you don't sleep too, so he will literally always answer you.
Yeah, just avoid the window between like 1 and 5, and we're good. But you can find us on Facebook at sports-dorks.com. Well, you can find us on Facebook at sports-dorks. You can find us on the internet at www.sports-dorks.com. Find us on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, etc. Give us 5 stars, subscribe, tell your friends to do the same. Instagram, we're sportsdorks_. Same with Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Timothy J. Chura, Nick at Nick Kappas. God, there's so much to plug.
That?
I don't know.
You did our Twitters.
No,
this is my song.
I did our emails.
This is my song to Pat Mahomes.
You lie awake with Pat Mahomes?
Yeah, dude.
Wild.